Christmas music. I know for some people you can't listen to Christmas music until after Thanksgiving. It is the law. Hi everybody, I'm Jona from One Pip Wonder, and today I'm sharing a list of 10 wonderful family board games that would make great gifts for Christmas this year. I wanted to let you know what great games are out there, where you can get them, and who they would be ideal for. What sort of family interests and age groups these games would be good for. So I'm including all that information, and we're about to start right now. A word about shopping. Before you go to your big box stores, before you go to Amazon, check out your local game store. These games they're all very different. They're different priced. They're for different age groups, and they have different difficulty levels. So these aren't ranked based on the best, like worst to best. They're just in a format where they're kind of simplest to hardest. Coming in at number 1, I want to recommend Hues and Cues. This is published by the Op. It costs $25 and you can find it at Target this year, 2020. It's for ages 8 and up, but I have played with my 6-year-old and he does pretty good. We do kind of have to, check with him and make sure he understands the rules, but he can participate. So I would say 8 and up is right on, but if you wanted to include younger players, you could do that. So Hues and Cues is a party game where you're going to be taking turns trying to give each other cues or clues for a specific color on the board game board. And on this board, there are like a ton of colors. You have to give a 1-word clue to get them to guess maybe a certain shade of orange, and you might say pumpkin. And you want everyone's going to put their little pawn out to the shade of pumpkin that they think you're trying to get them to guess. And then you can do a 2-word clue on your second turn, and then they'll get to guess again. And then after everyone has guessed, everyone will get points based on how close they got to your color, and then you will get points based on whoever got points that turn. It is super fun, it's super simple, it really gets you realizing like how different we are and how everyone sees color differently. So it's a really fun party game and it's very unique. It's not like like a cheesy party game. It really does kind of help you get to know their friends and family better. Coming in at number 2 is Point Salad. And this is published by AEG. And I found this at Barnes & Noble's, and you can also find this on a board gaming website called Miniature Market. I will link all of these websites below with the board game. So you'll see a link, you'll see the board game name, and then you'll see a link to where you can find it if you're interested in purchasing it as a gift this year. So this game is $19 and it's just a simple card game. It could almost fit in a stocking. Some people suggested this in my stocking stuffer video where they're like, point salad would work. I couldn't get point salad in my stocking, but you might be able to. It could be a stocking stuffer because it is a smaller game. But it's a card game where you're collecting points, you're putting vegetables out on the table. You're flipping cards over and you're collecting vegetables, you're drafting them, but you're also collecting point cards. And based on the point card, you might get 2 points every time you get a tomato and a carrot. So you want to collect lots of tomatoes and carrots, but you'll get negative points for every, onion you have. So make sure you don't get any onions. So it's that simple. And then when the cards run out, the game's over and you add up your total and you can use all the vegetables you collected for all your point cards. And I mean, that's as simple as it is. There's no meanness. You're just trying to get points. And it's just fun and light, and it's easy to teach anyone, and it's called Point Salad. My third recommendation is a dexterity game called Icecool. It's a dexterity game where you have little penguins that you're flicking around on this kind of maze that the board game boxes create when you clip them together. And there's a school monitor and he's trying to catch all the other penguins, and you get points for catching the penguins if you're the school monitor, and you get points if you get fish when you go through different doorways as the other little kids. They're kind of like playing hooky, or they're getting away from the school monitor, so they're getting fish out in the hallways. So it's a super cute game. It's all about dexterity. You're just trying to flick your penguins around, trying to keep them away from the one player, but you're trying to get them through these little doorways. The components in the game are very cute, and it's recommended for ages 6 and up. So it's something that a variety of people could play. It's challenging for adults, but easy enough for kids to play. And coming in at number 4 is Century Golum Edition. It's published by Plan B Games, and it costs about $29 depending on where you find it. I have to say I did have trouble finding the original one. They did have it on Miniature Market. I'm hoping that they will get more of them in because it is a very popular game. If you can't find Golum Edition, Century Spice Road is the same game, and it's just as fun. It just has a different theme on it. So in Century, what you're doing is you're picking cards from the marketplace that are going to allow you to upgrade gems that you have in your little wagon. And as you upgrade those gems and collect more gems, you'll be able to purchase point cards, which are the Golum cards in the Golum Edition. And those Golum cards are going to be worth anywhere between 5 points and 19 points. So obviously the higher the value of those Golums, the more complicated the gem patterns are to achieve. So that's basically the game, and then you can keep changing your hand of cards to get better upgrades to your gems, so you can eventually collect the gems you need to gain those Golum reward cards. So this is one of the first games I fell in love with. I highly recommend it for new gamers or just anyone in the gaming hobby. It's just really fun. It's light. It's a very charming theme, and it's very addictive. So Century Golum Edition is the one that I would highly recommend to you the most. If you can get Century Spice Road, that's also the same game with just a different theme on it. Century Golum Edition, it's for ages 8 and up. So again, you can include young children, and also it's very challenging and fun for adults too. My number 5 pick is Downforce. It's by Restoration Games, and it costs about $30. This is a car racing board game, and what you do when you start the game is you get you're all dealt a hand of cards, and they're going to have different colors for the different cars that are racing. So you're gonna bid on the card that you want to race based on your hand of cards and what you got the most of. So if you got a whole lot of blue, more than likely you'll be able to get that blue card across the finish line for victory points. So that's kind of what you're doing. There's like a little bit of an auction system at the beginning of the game, but then as the game progresses, you can also bet on other people finishing the race. So you also get points based off of who you think is going to win, not necessarily your own personal win. So it has a really nice combination of things happening. So it's not just a racing game, it's also a betting game. Downforce can be found at Miniature Market, and it's recommended for ages 10 and up. My number 6 recommendation is a gardening game called Miyabi. This is published by Haba. It costs about $40. You can purchase it from the Haba website, but you can also find Haba games at game stores and even some big box stores. So you can kind of keep an eye open for a couple different places. So Miyabi is a Tetris style puzzle game where you're placing these Tetris-y tiles onto a Zen garden, and you get points based off of the amount of items that are laid in the different rows with pictures on them. You're matching up the pictures on your player board. But you also get like double, triple, quadruple the points as you stack the tiles higher and higher. Whatever like number stack you're at, that's what your points are going to be multiplied by. So you also have this like puzzling out on your board, but you're also puzzling up. Miyabi is for ages 8 and up, and it would be great for anyone that kind of likes gardens or like puzzly type Tetris games. My number 7 board game for this list is one I'm super excited to talk about, and it's called Cytosis. This game was out of stock right before I started making this list, and I just checked it again, and they just have a whole bunch of new copies reprinted, so you can get this. It's published by Genius Games, and you can get it at geniusgames.org. It's an educational game about cell biology. I know that sounds like really brainy and like super difficult, but the game mechanics of this are pretty simple and very enjoyable to play. It's a worker placement game, so that means that there's different actions on the board, and each round a person will get to go to one action to the different spots to complete an action, but once someone is there, no one else can go there. So it's kind of like has this like nervous feeling like, oh, am I gonna get to go to the spot I want to complete what I need? But as you are playing this game and putting your workers out and completing different actions, you start building these cells by adding different components to the cells that you need. So you're really learning the very building blocks of biology in this game. So it's recommended for ages 10 and up. But even if you're not interested in the educational side of it, it's a tremendous lightweight worker placement game that I rock. I'm really good at Cytosis. And it's also like well made, beautiful colors, and easy to learn. So Cytosis is my number 7. All right, and coming in to help me with my Christmas board game list is Starla and Mick.
Hi everybody, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are
Our Family Plays Games. Yes!
And you know what?
It's Christmas time!
It's the holiday season!
Yeah! It's Christmas time. I love it.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Go ahead on in. Go ahead on in.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Tis the season for giving.
Yes, it is. And what better way what Our Family Plays Games can do is give away games for the season.
Games,
yeah.
You know? So, I mean, if we had to do something for a family who wanted a gift for Christmas.
Yes. And
of course.
Yes. And they can find it mostly anywhere.
Anywhere.
Mm-hmm. You know, even, just anywhere.
Anywhere. The big box stores.
Yeah.
If you have to go online, you can find it. But preferably at your local game store.
Favorite neighborhood game store.
So we think that the best game to give this year
is Parks.
Parks.
Yes, by Keymaster Games, 1 to 5 players. This game is a beautiful thing.
And it's a great family game. I mean, you'll enjoy just looking at the cards. You will lose yourself in the whole theme of the game of trekking through the parks and seeing the wildlife and seeing the beauty of it. It's a wonderful game to start off. I think it's almost like it's a gateway.
It's a gateway.
I don't think it's too difficult.
But it's so cool. You see all these different artists that made renditions of the different national parks of America. It's so cool. And the good thing about it, there's expansions coming out that's going to give you more content so you can see more of these beautiful parks.
So this is an investment.
In this country.
This is an investment game.
Yeah.
So you start off with this one and then you can get expansions, so it just adds to the enjoyment and you won't get bored with it.
No, this thing is so beautiful. Yeah. You just want to look at it.
Exactly.
You just want to look at it.
So, if I had to give a gift, which I'm sure we will.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Our choice for 2020 is Parks.
Parks by Keymaster Games. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Mick and Starla, for that recommendation. Mick and Starla have an awesome board gaming channel called Our Family Plays Games. If you are interested in finding out more about family board games, they're the people to check out. And I played Parks once, and I have to say I enjoyed it a lot. It is beauteous. It even has like a little camera meeple. I love that. Maybe I'll have to put it on my Christmas list, actually. And number 9, I'm recommending Welcome To. This game is only about $25. It's published by Deepwater Games. And I found a copy, I found that Barnes & Nobles was selling this. Welcome To is a little game where you are filling out, everyone's gonna have player sheets. And you have a little neighborhood layout, like a bird's eye view of a neighborhood. And each house has a space for you to fill out a house number. And the way that you fill out your house numbers is based off of a deck of cards that is going to be flipped. The cards are they're split up into 3 groups, and you flip all three and you can choose which house you want to fill out. Now, along with that house, you might have a chance to do another action, like you might be able to fill in a pool with that house address, or the house might have like a fence that you can put up, and you get different points for laying out different fence patterns around different groupings of houses, and you also get a lot of points if you're able to collect a lot of pools. If you're near parks, that's another scoring possibility. So that's kind of the way the game goes. You're kind of just filling it out and seeing what you're able to collect, how you're able to fill out on your sheet, and whoever has the most points at the end wins. This is a tremendous game because you can play 2 to like 100 people. Not 100 people, but quite a few. As long as everyone can see the cards that are being flipped, you can play as many people as you want. We've played up to 12 people playing Welcome To, so it's really fun in that regard. So my number 10 is Wingspan. This is a bird theme game. It's published by Stonemaier Games. It's about $60, so it is a little bit more expensive, but it truly is a great family game. It's recommended for ages 10 and up, and you can find it at Barnes & Nobles. I saw that they had copies of it, and you can also get it at Miniature Market. And it is just a lovely game where it's all bird themed, and you're collecting different styles of birds that have maybe different nests, or some of them are more predatorial, so you can get more points because those birds will eat other birds. Like, it's very educational, it's very beautiful, and it's just a joy to play. Everything about it feels very streamlined and easy as far as gameplay. You have these really nice like cardboard player sheets. They almost seem like miniature board games, that everyone has their own personal little miniature board that they're playing and placing their cards onto. The components are lovely, and I've only played this twice, but every time I play it, I'm just more and more enchanted by it. So that's my number 10 pick. I just think it could be a real joy for a lot of families. As a runner-up, I want to include Ticket to Ride. Now, Ticket to Ride is not really runner-up material. Ticket to Ride is one of the best family games I could recommend. The only reason I hesitated to put it on the list was because a lot of people know about it already. It's kind of mainstream. You can find it at you can find it at Barnes & Nobles and Target and big box stores. And if you're curious about it, I would just tell you to go for it. It's one of the first modern board games that we purchased as a family, and we still play it from time to time. As our children are getting older, they want to play it more and more. Like, my 6-year-old can't quite play it yet. We actually got them the youth version, the junior Ticket to Ride, which they love. But it's a great train theme game where you are connecting train routes. It's really easy to play, and it's super enjoyable. I mean, I've been playing all sorts of games over the last couple of years, and I still love Ticket to Ride. So that one is one that I would highly recommend. Another fun game, which is for younger children, this would be for ages 4 and up, is a dexterity game called Animal Upon Animal. This is published by Haba, and it's just a little simple game with wooden pieces, little wooden animal pieces that have all sorts of different shapes and nooks and crannies, and you can stack them on top of each other, and you're trying to make a big animal stack. And there's all sorts of rules. You roll a dice, and that dice might have you be placing an animal. It might be having someone else place an animal. There's all sorts of like little fun things that happen when you roll the dice on your turn. It's also designed in such a way that the game itself can be played just as a toy. So that's why it's a great Christmas gift for a family with young kids. It can be played as a family, as a game, but it can also just be played with. So that's my other runner-up, Animal Upon Animal by Haba. That's the end of my Christmas board gaming videos. I hope it wasn't too much. I love Christmas time, but I'm with you guys. I don't like to start the holiday before it's actually here. But on the other hand, I do like to Christmas shop early, so that's why I'm putting them out now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of it. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. It's not just a racing game, it's also a betting game. So I highly recommend Miyabi. Okay, go ahead. All right, and to help me with